a big hole. No.
It's now a straight hole.
So everyone, thank you for joining us today. I know it's been a couple of months since we last uploaded. Reason for that is I started a new job, so I had a lot of things to get done during that time. I did not have the time to film anything. So in today's video, we're going to be going over why I want to sell the van. We're going to fix the problems with the van. So stay tuned because we've got a lot coming up. And for you guys that have been watching us for a while, you're probably sitting here wondering, why are we selling the van? We've literally just done all of these upgrades to them. New lithium batteries, new solar panels, new inverters, induction hobs, all of these things. And I'll tell you why. Over the last few months, obviously we wanted to do a lot more camping, a lot more going away and things like that. And due to work and my wife's work, we haven't been able to do that as much as we would like. Plus, the kids don't really seem to want to go with us as much anymore. So having this huge van doesn't make sense. It takes up a lot of room. This doesn't mean that we're getting rid of the van and we're never going to do anything with the van again. We're definitely going to get another van, but we think we're going to go maybe for a medium wheelbase van this time, so that when me and Rosy want to go away for the weekend, we can. The other problem is that with our working schedules, that I work for my new job and Rosy works at the hospital, we don't really have a lot of time to be able to go and full van life and do those things yet. Yet, I say yet because that is the goal at the end. Once we get a bit more financially settled, then yes, we are going to do van life. That is what we want to do. But in the meantime, I think we're going to downgrade the size of the van and invest that money into more travel. So it's rather than us going away for weeks on end with the van, we're going to be doing a lot more shorter breaks abroad. So we want to go to Portugal, we want to go to Spain, we want to go to France, we want to go to Europe, we're going to the Philippines this year. We've been to Amsterdam already as well. You know, when we've got that time, we want to be able to just go on those short breaks abroad and things we can enjoy with the kids while they're still at this age. But before we can even think about selling the van, we've got some things that we need to fix. I didn't think this was going to happen, and I put it in for an M.O.T. thinking that everything was going to be fine because it did less than 1,000 miles since the last M.O.T. And what happened? We got a fail. Gone is the happiness from my face and the excitement of passing an M.O.T. like we had last year. This. This is the face I've got now. Hamish has failed. So it hasn't failed on a lot of stuff, but there are some things that really need to be addressed which I was not aware of, and I'll go into that in a minute. So the biggest problem with this is apparently the sills on the driver's side of the door, inner and outer, are completely rotted. Now, to me, this is a big surprise. One, because the M.O.T. guy I was taking it to never ever mentioned any problems with the sills at all in any M.O.T. that I took it to, and it's had 3 M.O.Ts since I've had it. It didn't seem right to me. I don't know what it was, but something inside me was saying, that's not right. There's got to be something wrong with the van. There's no way that the van's 1998. There's no way that there's nothing wrong with it. So I took it to another M.O.T, a friend of mine who does M.O.Ts, and half expecting him just to call me and say, yeah, that's it, passed. But the words, the messages I got and the pictures that he sent me were not happy. So it turns out whoever had this van before me, I can see from the M.O.T history that the sills did rot at one point and it was a fail. And then 2 months later it passed. When we looked at the sills. They have been, this sill has been filled with expanding foam. And yes, you heard correctly, expanding foam.
Funny foam?
So apparently this is quite a big thing in some people that don't want to weld the sills. They just fill them with expanding foam, put a little body filler on top of it, fill it up, and then they pass, because they all of a sudden now they're not hollow, they're not rusting out. But for me, that was a huge problem. I'd already put the van up for sale at this point, and I had to take the van down from sale because there's no way that I'm selling a van that's got any problems at all. I wasn't going to try and bodge it. I'm not that kind of person that wants to bodge it. I would rather, even for my own van, even for my own cars and everything like that, I'm not saying I've never been offered a dodgy M.O.T before. I have. But I've never taken a dodgy M.O.T because at the end of the day, I've got my kids in the car, I've got my wife in the car, I've got my family in the car with me, in the van with me. I would rather spend a little bit of money that it takes to fix it and get it done. Or if it's too much to be fixed, then get rid of the van and buy something else. Luckily, this isn't one of those situations where it's too late to fix. So luckily today, my mechanic is coming up to my house and he is going to weld the sills for us and get that all done. Thank you. So the grinding has started. Don't know if you guys can hear me. To fit on the car.
You do?
So this is what was in there. It looks like a bit of sponge that they've cut to shape and bunged into a hole. And now what, they put body filler on top of it?
Body filler and a lot of seam sealer and a lot of shit.
Lovely. That's a big hole. No.
There's no straight hole.
That's what we need. So ideally this is not what you want coming out from the bottom of your van. But the good news is we're going to be replacing them with these new sills, inner and outer. Cut all the rot out. And there we go, with using the persuasion stick, we managed to get, well, Gary managed to get the first half of the sill in. This is just placed in, it's not tacked in, it's not welded in yet, but it is fitting. Looking good. Now move on to the other side, well, the next bit. So morning everyone, so this is actually the very next day. We didn't manage to get it all finished yesterday due to some bad weather, but let me show you the progress so far. So as you can see, first half of the sill is all on. So it's all been seam weld along there and underneath It's been all welded along nicely there, and everything is in where it needs to be. Oh. So we've still got the other half of the sill to do. We're just waiting for Gary to come back today to do that. So Gary's come to start the second side. It turns out that this is actually worse than the first side. When I mentioned before about expanding foam, this is what I was talking about. Why do people do this? Absolutely ridiculous. So we were just going to cut off a little bit halfway, but it turns out
We're doing the whole bit.
we're doing the whole bit now because whoever did it before filled it with bloody expanding foam.
Oh,
And then-
stuck metal on.
And then stuck metal on with...
The expanding foam?
No, they put expanding foam inside the sill where the hole was, and then just put a patch of metal over the hole with glue, with Sikaflex or something, and then filled it with expanding foam. So the whole sill, as you can see here, is filled with expanding foam.
Is that even allowed?
No. No, it's not allowed.
No.
Why do this? Why just do it properly?
People do it and they paint over it and it looks alright. As an M.O.T. test, you're not allowed to.
You can't go into it, but
Thumb pressure only until you find, and if it's solid, you can't hit it. But if you find a hole, then you can hit it.
then you can hit it. Well, good thing that you found it.
I found a hole, yeah.
You found a huge hole. Oh dear. Well, it's better that we found it now and got it fixed, so the next person that buys it doesn't have to worry about it. So I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a breakdown of what Gary was explaining there. And this is why it's so important that you check your sills. I'd wish I'd done this previously over the last few years, otherwise it would have saved so much bother. But basically, what they do with the expanding foam is they notice that the sill is starting to rot out. There may be a hole somewhere there, and they say, right, okay, I'm going to have to replace the sill. Now, to replace a sill can cost anywhere between a couple of £100 to £1,000 or even more, depending on the amount of rot that's in there. So what people seem to do is that where that hole is, they'll fill it with expanding foam. So they'll fill the whole sill with expanding foam. They'll then cover the hole up, which is what they did on our side, is they got a piece of metal, put some Sikaflex on the back of it, sealed the hole with that plate to keep the expanding foam in. And as Guy was explaining, they can't, when it goes for an M.O.T, they can't just go around and start hitting it with a hammer, you know, to see if there's any rust. The way that the M.O.T guys have to do it is they have to use thumb pressure. So if they notice the thumb pressure is really, really soft and it starts to go through and creates a hole, then they can check it out. But if there's no hole to check, then if the pressure's solid, which is what the expanding foam is supposed to do, is make it solid, then the M.O.T-er won't know that there's actually expanding foam in there. So best thing, obviously that's an M.O.T guy, and that doesn't mean that you, when you're buying a car or a van, can't go around with a little hammer and give it a tap, give it a little bit more than thumb pressure to see if it actually breaks down. So going forward with any van or car or anything that I'm going to be buying, I'm going to be taking a little hammer with me as well. I'm going to be checking all of those arches. Right, so it's now almost 2 weeks later. We didn't manage to get it finished on that day because of the weather. In Scotland, you know, you get 3 seasons in one day here. But now we have finished it. Have a look at this. Well, yes. That's all the sills all done, all fixed. You'd never even know that it's been done. He's gonna have a conference as well. Inner and outer sills, all done on the van. So since that was all done, and we put I needed to paint those sills as well back to the black that they were. So I thought it'd be a good idea while we've got it and the weather was in a better place. I decided to fresh up the entire van. So everything that you can see that is black has been topped up with a lovely coat of black hammered hammerite. That includes the bull bar as well. I even did the light. This light started to go white, but I managed to spray that all sprayed as well. Both sides of the van. Everything that was black has been touched up. So, as you can see from here, she's looking nice and fresh and spiffy again. I also decided I had some of the green left over, so I went and touched up anywhere that had, you know, any marks on it that come off. So they've all been touched up as well. Some of you will remember the jerry can that I bought. So that was originally the same colour as the van, but it doesn't look like it was actually painted in a decent paint. So it started to really rust and going. So I took that off, rubbed it all down as well. And then once I rubbed it all down, I gave it a nice coat of the black hammerite as well. So, and that includes the holder for it. We also finally got some Max Track knockoffs. So no way I'm paying the money that I was paying for, that they want for Max Tracks, but I managed to get some knockoff ones here, which I think will do perfectly, because if you remember from the last time we went to a festival, we got stuck in the mud. So hopefully that's not going to happen again with that. You'll also notice that we've added this rail that goes underneath my Fiamma awning. You'll find out why I've added that in the next video. So subscribe and set on your notifications for the next video, because we've got a bit of a addition that we've added to our van for festival season, which is coming up soon. Talking about festivals, we are going to be going to Volksfling this year. That's starting on the 23rd of May in Bigger. Have a look at their website. It's a great time. It's a small event, but it's perfect for Volkswagen lovers and campervan lovers as well. They let everyone in. So I know at the beginning of this video I said that I was thinking of selling the old girl, but since we got it fixed and cleaned up and painted, it's kind of changed my mind. So after a conversation with Rosy, the boss, we've decided that we're going to keep Hamish for another year. So I'm quite happy about that. So because of that, we will be going to Volksfling this year. We've already booked our tickets, we will be there, and we've also booked again to go to Mighty Dub Fest, which is going to take, I think that starts on the 15th of June. I'm not sure. I'll put the link here so you guys can have a look, and hopefully maybe I'll see you guys there. And finally, the most important thing, Hamish has passed. Not a single advisory, fixed absolutely everything on the list. It's now gone and it has got its M.O.T. Thank God for that. So it took a few weeks longer than we thought it was going to, but it's done. Hamish is finished. She's passed her M.O.T. We've got all the welding done. I can go to sleep knowing now that everything is done. I've had Gary, my M.O.T. guy, go through the van up and down to check and make sure that Everything's good on it. There's no other welding that needs done. Well, that's a lie. There is one piece of welding that needs done. I've still got the battery tray that needs to be replaced, but I'm going to try and do that myself because I really want to learn how to weld. So it's been a really busy few weeks, but I'm really happy that Hamish has managed to pass his MOT, and I'm even happier now that we've decided to keep Hamish for another year. So we're going to get ready, start getting ready for our festivals. So we've got Vault Sling coming up, as I was saying, and Mighty Dub Fest. So tune in to our next video where I'll show you some extras that we've got for the van, which has really going to help during that festival season. Thanks so much again for watching, guys. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Say no, I'm not like you, I don't think that you get it.